Good evening, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your second and final video blog of the night for Saturday, September 26, 2015, around 8:37 p.m. in Billerica, Massachusetts. It's dark out now. It was a nice and sunny day, highs in the 60s, and it was perfect for fall weather. Some news report: Boston Red Sox beat Baltimore Orioles by a score of 8-0. Another shutout by the Red Sox. I went to the game today at Fenway Park, sat in the bleachers. It was good view and stuff like that. Got some Fenway Franks and pretzels and water and stuff and some programs. It was pretty good. And also the New York Mets clinched the National League East title. First time they clinched the National League East title since 2006. And the Toronto Blue Jays ended their playoff drought at 22 years, so they clinched a playoff spot, at least a wild card spot. And Boston College football team beat Northern Illinois by the score of 17-14. That's about it on the news. My third and final video blog of the night, my second and final video blog of the night is my personality profile. Tonight's personality profile is the professional wrestler Sting. Sting's real name is Steve Horton, and he's played the Sting character for close to 30 years. He's an icon in professional wrestling, known for being the franchise of WCW, and he's wrestled a few matches for WWE. He's one of the legends in professional wrestling. Steve Borden was born in Omaha, Nebraska, and he grew up in California. He wasn't very interested in professional wrestling while growing up. He didn't watch it too much and stuff. He was interested more in bodybuilding. When he got older, he entered in some bodybuilding contests. Then he watched wrestling one time, and he wanted to become a professional wrestler. He was trained by Rick Bassman and Red Bastien, and in 1985, he made his professional wrestling debut in a few independent wrestling organizations in California. He was part of Power Team USA. Part of it was a guy named Justice, who became the Ultimate Warrior, and Sting used the name of Flash. Eventually, Flash and Justice went to CWA, Memphis territory. They were renamed the Freedom Fighters. Justice was turned into that name, nicknamed The Rock, and the Freedom Fighters didn't get over in Memphis. They were faces at first, but they eventually turned heel. It was uneventful. They were known for an angle to break a veteran wrestler's Phil Hickinson's leg, and then they left to wrestle for Mid-South and UWF, and they would change the name to the Blade Runners. And Sting's name, Flash's name was turned to Sting. Both of them wore face paint and stuff. They were managed by Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. They got a decent push in UWF, but eventually the Rock left for World Class Championship Wrestling and became the Ultimate Warrior. And Sting was part of Eddie Gilbert's first family. He won the UWF tag team title with Rick Steiner. Eventually, Sting turned face, and he became real popular. He was set to win the UWF television title, but that was changed when Jim Crockett Promotions bought UWF, and eventually they merged the UWF into Jim Crockett Promotions, the biggest NWA territory left. And then Sting became a star in 1988. He feuded with Ric Flair. Had a 45-minute time limit draw at the first Clash of Champions. He became a star. Sting had more colorful face paint and stuff, and he had a black top, a flat top, blonde hair. And he was from Venice Beach, California. He was popular with the fans. He had the famous move to Stinger Splash and Scorpion Deathlock. He was teamed with Lex Luger many times. He feuded with the Horsemen. He also feuded with other members of the NWA and stuff. And he won in 1989 the television title. And and he feuded with the Great Muta and Terry Funk. He formed an alliance with Nature Boy Ric Flair, and eventually Sting joined the Four Horsemen in late 1989, but he was booted out of it in February 1990 when he signed a match to wrestle Ric Flair for the World Heavyweight Championship, and they threw him out on a Clash of Champions, and then Sting legitimately hurts his knee, blows it out, and he was supposed to win the WCW World Title Wrestle War. He was on the shelf for several months, but then at Great American Bash 1990, he beat Ric Flair for the WCW World Title. But the 5 months he was champion for the first time, the attendance at WCW house shows tanked, and they came up with the Black Scorpion angle, which eventually it was Ric Flair, and then he dropped it back to Ric Flair, and in 1991 Sting got in meaningless feuds and stuff with Nikita Koloff. Eventually he became U.S. champion, but he dropped that to Ravishing Rick Rude. Then in 1992 he won the WCW World Title again. Then he dropped it to Vader and feuded with Jake the Snake Roberts and Vader and Ravishing Rick Rude, but the fans continued to cheer Sting on for like several years. He was feuding constantly with Vader and other WCW stars and stuff. He was, he was so over with the fans, he really did not need a title and stuff like that. And by 1994, Sting's popularity was so huge in WCW. He was in like a few shows, cameos like Superboy and Thunder in Paradise. When like Hulk Hogan came to WCW, Sting's popularity kind of went down. He went in the mid-card with feuds and stuff. He sometimes did not even appear on WCW pay-per-views or Clash of Champions. His stock was kind of dropping and stuff. He was feuding with Avalanche and Big Bubba Rogers and so many others. But in like 1995, June of 1995, Sting got the WCW United States title again from Maine, and he feuded with him over the summer and stuff. And eventually Sting recruited Lex Luger to come back to WCW, and then Sting got into like a feud with Ric Flair again, and it's sent by like the fall of 1995. Sting dropped the U.S. title to Kensuke Sasaki, and then Sting developed a change. He no longer had his like blonde hair. He was like darkening and stuff, and he was growing it longer and stuff like that. Sting actually was tag team champions with Lex Luger for WCW for about 5 months in 1996, but he was continued to be stuck in mid-card mediocrity and stuff. And then when the NWO was formed, Sting was continuing to like kind of drop down on the cards a little bit. They weren't focusing on him as the franchise of WCW anymore. And then when the NWO got hot, they had a fake Sting for the NWO, which was played by Jeff Farmer, who was the Cobra and like Lightning of Thunder and Lightning, an old tag team in WCW, and they had War Games 1996 at Fall Brawl, and they had the fake Sting, but then the real Sting comes in and he tells Team WCW it was me all along. And then the next night on Nitro, Sting says he was stopped being loyal to WCW and stuff, and he was a free agent and stuff. And then that changes his gimmick from like kind of the surfboarder Sting type, the California Sting, to the Crow gimmick Sting, which appeared in October of 1996. And for the next year and a half, Sting appeared randomly at WCW Nitros and stuff in like the Crow gimmick and stuff, and he used a baseball bat. There was something interesting because Sting had fulfilled his dates for how many times he could wrestle in 1996. That's why he became the Crow gimmick, because he fulfilled those dates and they had to do something. And the long-term plan for the Sting Crow gimmick was it was supposed to go to um, um, Great American Bash 1997, when he was going to wrestle Hulk Hogan for the WCW World Title, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, but the times when Sting comes through the crowd and stuff, drops down from the car, and stalking Hulk Hogan and the WWO, it was so great that WCW continued to hold that angle off, the payoff to Starrcade 1997, and every week on Nitro it was Hogan and Sting to end stare down after stare down on Nitro and stuff, and the ratings continued to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and stuff like that. This was one of the reasons why WCW on Monday Nitro beat WWE Raw for many weeks, for over 84 weeks, because of the Sting Hogan feud and stuff, which was, you know, the hype was great and stuff like that, but they needed to get into the ring. Finally, on Starrcade 1997, Sting and Hulk Hogan wrestled, and it was kind of a screw job. Hogan beat Sting when the referee counted 3, but Bret the Hitman Hart came down, and like, you didn't want another screw job. Then Sting puts Hogan in Scorpion Deathlock to win the WCW World Title, and the fans were cheering like crazy and stuff. But a few weeks later, Sting had to give up the belt because it was controversy on the next night on Raw for the rematch. But Sting beats Hogan for the upheld WCW World Title. He holds it for about 2 months. Then he drops it to Macho Man Randy Savage. Then Sting changes direction again. He becomes part of the Wolfpack, the NWO Wolfpack with Kevin Nash, Lex Luger, and Conan. They had Sting have the red face paint, and then that lasted for several months. Eventually, Sting goes back to the, wearing the white paint, like the Crow gimmick and stuff like that. But, it was just getting, they were basically running out of ideas for Sting. In the fall of 1999, WCW turns him heel. He wins the WCW World Title again, beating Hulk Hogan, but eventually he drops it. The title becomes vacant, and a few months later, he's back face again. That was one of the worst heel turns of all time. When WCW was going down, they were putting Sting in gimmick matches after gimmick matches and stuff with Vampiro and stuff. It was awful. And the last Monday Nitro, Sting wrestled Ric Flair, the last match on Monday Nitro history. Sting did not go to the WWE in 2001 when WCW was bought by WWE, because he still had a long-term contract, and he just decided to take it easy for a while. He briefly appeared in WWA. Then in 2003, he appeared in TNA. For the next 11 years, he was on and off for TNA, winning the TNA World Title for several times, and feuding with AJ Styles, Christian, Samoa Joe, and so many others. He formed the Main Event Mafia with Kevin Nash, Booker T, and Kurt Angle and a few others. He was playing a heel again, but that did not suit Sting and stuff. And he eventually went into the TNA Hall of Fame. There were so many rumors that Sting was going to come to the WWE as early as the mid-2000s, but they couldn't agree creative-wise on how the direction of Sting's character would be in the WWE. He was, getting up there in age and stuff. Many people thought they would never see Sting in a WWE ring, but in Survivor Series 2014, Sting makes an appearance, and then he signed a limited amount of dates for the WWE. He appears a few times on Monday Night Raw, and in WrestleMania 31, he wrestles Triple H. And even though he was 56 years old, he was still in good shape. He gave Triple H a great match, but he lost to Triple H. And then many people were saying that Sting would never wrestle again, but he appears on Raw in August and challenges Seth Rollins for the WWE title. They have a match recently at Night of Champions and stuff, and Sting suffered a serious injury, his neck injury, on a botched move, and he lost to Seth Rollins. I heard something, there was a plan if he was going to win the WWE World title from Seth Rollins on Night of the Champions, but I don't know if that's true or not. And Sting's in-ring career is in jeopardy and stuff like that, but I think Sting has had a great career and stuff like that, and I think he should have one more match, and I would love it to see he wrestle at WrestleMania 32 against The Undertaker, a career versus career match. I think Sting should go into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2016 as well as stuff like that. Sting is one of the true legends of professional wrestling, probably one of the most top, maybe 5 most popular wrestlers of all time. And that's about it on Sting. And that's about it on these video blogs. You're going to get a couple of good ones tomorrow. There'll be 3 of them tomorrow. And I'm not going to tell you what they are. There'll be surprises tomorrow. And keep calm, everybody. And I'm a Julie Brennan guy. Molly Rosenblatt, Fox 35 Rocks, and has nice legs. Elizabeth Hart, so stunning. And in the words of Sean Lucha, get out. See you later tomorrow.